and welcome to another exciting episode of Cooking and Cutting Up with your girl, Chef Tara. Now, on today's episode, we're going to be making one of my favorite dishes, which is the Crown Royal Peach Cobbler Pie. Now, I know you're probably thinking, is she really about to put this Crown Royal in this peach cobbler pie? Yes I am, and I already put some in my cup. So, bring your ass on in here. It's time to cook and cut up. Now, we're going to dive right into this ingredients list. So we have our rolling pin here is what you're going to need for us to roll out our crust, of course. I have 4 cans of peaches and heavy syrup. I have lemon extract and vanilla extract. I have 1 cup of packed brown sugar. I have another cup of granulated sugar, but this is organic. You don't have to use organic. If you want to do Domino, do you, boo? I have 2 boxes of pie crust, 1 box for the bottom, 1 box from the top. I also have a stick of salted butter. Now, if you got unsalted at the crib, that's cool. Just add a little pinch of salt in there, in your peach cobbler mixture. So for my seasonings, I have a teaspoon of ground clove. I have a tablespoon of cinnamon and also a tablespoon of nutmeg. Here, I just have some flour that's going to help with our surface when we're rolling out our dough. And then we're also going to need a half a cup of Crown Royal Peach. Now, this drink is optional. You ain't gotta be like me, but it's a good option. Now, grab your ingredients, meet me over at the stove. Let's get started. So the first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna preheat our oven to 385 degrees. I melted a stick of salted butter in this here pot, and we're gonna go ahead and add all of our other ingredients to make our peach mixture. So we have our 4 cans of peaches. And remember, we want to have our fire to a medium heat. Okay. We're going to add our 1 cup of brown sugar. And then we're also going to add our cup of granulated sugar. Now remember, mine is organic. You do you, boo. And then we're going to add our spices here. Remember, we have a tablespoon of cinnamon. We have a tablespoon of nutmeg and a teaspoon of ground clove. Get all that in there. Okay. We're going to do a tablespoon of vanilla extract. And then we're also going to do a tablespoon of the lemon. Now, I as mine. If you can't as yours, then you get that measuring spoon out because we don't want no problems. And our next ingredient is going to be a half a cup of this Crown Royal Peach. Now, I'm actually going to measure this out, and the reason I'm going to do that is because you don't want to put too much alcohol in your dessert. It's going to affect the taste. We definitely don't want that, but I'm definitely going to make sure that it's a whole half a cup. Yes, honey, yes. Alright, so what we're going to go ahead and do while this is at a medium heat, we are going to stir this together. Make sure we get it all good and married together. And then we're going to allow this to simmer on this medium heat for about 30 minutes. And while we're doing that, we're going to go ahead and get started on our crust. Remember, we need to pre-bake that. So let this simmer and let these flavors marry for about 30 minutes, and we're going to come back to it. All right, and that's good. And then we're also going to take our rolling pin, and we're going to just take a little flour and get your man out the gutter. And we're going to make sure this is completely covered in flour. Okay, so now that we did that, we're going to take one of our pie crusts. Now, as you can see, we have a glass, I guess you can call it a square, it's a little rectangular, all sides ain't even, but we're going to roll it out. And then, actually, what I'm going to do, the good thing about dough is it just comes back together. And then what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to stack 2 of them on top of each other. Now, everybody who make peach cobbler, they don't normally do a bottom crust. I don't know why. The crust is, I ain't gonna lie, it's about the best damn part of the peach cobbler. on top of each other. We're just gonna take a little more flour and we're just gonna dust the surface of this here. And we're gonna take our rolling pin and we are going to roll out. Now the thing is, we want to make sure that once we put this pie crust in here, that it's going to overlap a little bit, because once it bakes, it's going to shrink a little bit. So let's go, baby. All right, so now that we got our pie crust rolled on out, what we're gonna go ahead and do, you're gonna take a baking dish. I got a little melted butter, and then what I'm gonna do is I'm just going to butter the inside of our baking dish. Because when we go to get that scoop, especially that corner scoop, y'all, when we go ahead and get our scoop, we want to make sure that that bottom crust comes right on up. Comes right on up. Okay. All right. So now that we got that fully buttered, we're going to go ahead and take our crust and we're going to put it in our baking dish. Get that in there like so. And it's not going to be perfect again because these are oval shaped, but we want to make sure that we get crust all up in here. So that's what we going to do. Okay. And remember, you can always press down on your dough. It's dough. It's very, very, very flexible. Okay. And like I said, I don't know about you, but with peach cobbler, the dough is my favorite part. But I like to use my kitchen shears just to get that excess dough on the side. Now remember, I like to leave a little bit only because the dough shrinks when you bake it. Alright, I'm gonna stop messing with it. Alright, so what we're gonna go ahead and do is we are just going to take the remainder of the butter that we have and we are just going to coat the inside of our crust. You gotta build flavor every damn step of the way you go. You want to always make sure that every part of our dish is going to stay sexy, period. Nobody want no bland dough. Alright, so what we're going to go ahead and do now that this is good to go as far as buttering and pressing down inside of our baking dish, we already preheated our oven to 385 degrees. We're going to go ahead and pop this in the oven between 8 to 10 minutes so that it can pre-bake. And we're going to start working on the top crust. Let's go. And we're gonna just take a little bit of flour, because again, we don't want anything to stick. And you see that little hole? We're gonna get that together real quick, no worries at all. So we're going to take our rolling pin. We're gonna roll it out a little bit each way. And then we're gonna go ahead and flip it. And we're going to roll it out again. All right. So now that we went on ahead and we got that taken care of, we are going to start making our cuts. Now, we are just going to, I want to say about a ½ inch thick per cut. And we're just going to keep going down and we're going to do the same thing for our second batch of dough. So we are just going to try our best to keep it out the way. And And I just got my little, just something, paper towels just to put our right, y'all. It's absolutely showtime. So you can see that it cooked a bit evenly on majority of the sides, but it wanted to act a fool a little bit. And you know, here on this side, but don't worry, I got a little trick up my sleeve for that. So what we're gonna go ahead and do is I got my peaches here. Now when I took my peaches out, I cooled them down a bit. I tossed them in the freezer, or you can toss them in the refrigerator. Like I said, you don't wanna work when it's way too damn hot. So what we're gonna go ahead and do is we're gonna go ahead and transfer our peaches over. I'm gonna transfer the juice over afterwards, only because I don't want it to be too soupy, but you don't want no dry peach cobbler either. So here we go. Y'all have no idea how good this smells right now. No idea. But if you follow this recipe and make it at home, then you will. And then you don't want your peaches all mushy either. You still want them to have a little bite to them. Okay. Alright, like I said, the reason why I'm doing it like this is because I don't want to put too much of this delicious peach juice. And if you got any left over, please save it. You can turn it into a glaze, top it on some cupcakes or something. So what I'm gonna go ahead and do, I'm gonna just take a piece of one, and then here, I just melted a little butter, and then I have some of the juice from the peaches here. This is what I'm gonna use to actually put on top of my top crust, but I need a little bit right now. Now, the reason why I said that, because I said I'm gonna cheat a little bit, and you better not tell them. All right, so that's what we gonna do. So from the little piece that I just broke, we're just gonna put this right on in, okay? And that's the wonderful thing about cooking. Nothing is perfect, but we want it to look good at the end of the day. So, and then also be a little cautious with these on the end, because you don't want it to break away like that little piece did. But like I said, it is A-okay. So we gonna go ahead, layer them across. Like this, like this. Okay. Scoot that over a little bit more. And this basket weave method is actually one of my favorites because it looks so damn pretty. Put this here on the end. Now, in order to do the basket weave, definitely pay close attention, because the way we're going to do it is we are going to be stagnant on the pieces. So when I say stagnant is sometimes the pieces may be this way and some may be flat across, and then you're going to just be repetitive in your steps. So make sure you pay attention to exactly what I'm doing, because it may get a little tricky, but I want to make sure that you guys are good to go. So this is what we're going to go ahead and do. So every other piece we're going to go ahead and fold over. Okay. That's all right. Well, come on now. There we go. Okay, and don't worry, my counter is clean. And then we're gonna go ahead and place a strip across. The only thing we do is we're just gonna put it back. So then, if you'll see here All the pieces that we did not cross, well, all the pieces that we did not flip over are currently underneath the piece that we just laid down. So what we're going to do is all of those pieces are now going to be flipped over. Okay, and you're just going to take another strip and you're going to go right across. And guess what you're going to do? You're going to put them pieces back. Bam. Bam. And look, it's already forming the cross motion. So all the pieces that are underneath the strip you just put down, you're just going to flip them back over. And it's very, very simple to do once you get the hang of it. So now you have your basket weave crust. Again, you can use a knife or whatever you like to use, but for the excess pieces, I'm just gonna go ahead and use my shears because it works so easily, folks. That look pretty, y'all. Just wait until it bakes, baby. Just wait until it bakes, baby. Okay. Alright, so what I'm going to go ahead and do with the mixture that I made of butter and the juice that the peaches was cooking in, I'm just going to take it. Brush it on top of our crust. Now we want to make sure it's uniform. That's what makes it look so damn good, y'all. And also make sure you get these very end pieces too. Halfway through, I'm gonna go back in and baste again. But we're gonna let this cook for about 30 to 35 minutes. 15 minutes into, we're gonna go ahead, like I said, and baste again. And then when we take this Crown Royal Peach Cobbler pie out, baby, y'all gonna see what I was talking about all this time. Alright, so you guys see that we are halfway through the baking point. You can see it's getting a little brown, it's looking cute. So we want to do our second base. Alright, so again, it's just a little of the butter, some melted butter, and the peach cobbler mixture that we made earlier. And you don't want to go too hard because it's still kind of soft, it's still baked. Okay, now that we have finished basting, doing our second base, we're going to go ahead and pop this back into our 385-degree oven for another 15 to 20 minutes until it's completely golden brown. I'll see y'all in a minute. All right, y'all, let's cut into this peach cobbler pie. Look how juicy it is. Look at that. Thank you so much for tuning in today. Remember to subscribe to the YouTube channel. Then head over to my Facebook page at Chef Tara Cooking and Cutting Up, and also my Instagram at Chef Tara B. And remember, I want everybody to eat. That's why I became the chef.